Welcome everyone to today's webinar. Just a quick announcement. It seems we have run into some technical difficulties. Oh, there's Andrea. Okay, they are solved. Yeah, I was starting already because actually Mitchell would join, but he was experiencing some difficulties, so we got somebody to replace him. So
Hope I was just joining as a participant, so this is just caught off by surprise. But I love the JDE Talks, and I am very fond of the Quadira document management solution. So I said, why not? Why not give a hand here? So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you again for joining us in another edition of JDE Edwards Talks. So today I am here with Rick, and I will let Rick introduce himself. You all know me. I'm Andrea. I work for Quistor, now Broadpin. So it's a Broadpin ex Quistor that we want to promote ourselves as. And we are very much fond of the JD Edwards community, and we hope to grow the community and inspire it every month with the sessions. So over to you, Rick, and please leave everyone, if you have questions, ideas, let's share them on the chat. But actually, not over to you, it's still me. I would like to give a little bit of an insight on Broadpin. So the new brand that we are under right now is actually a junction of four partners: Quistor, Project Partners, Promatis, and Pitt now form Broadpin, and we are the same JD Edwards passionate as ever. Just now enhancing all other Oracle applications and technology with this brand under this umbrella. So. I don't think we need to say more about this. But Rick, this is on Quadira's side.
okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Well, in short, my name is Rick Holdijk. I'm part of the sales team at Quadira. Today I will tell you a little bit about our company as an introduction, a little bit about the integration with GDE, and then we'll have a short demo. Unfortunately, we don't have time to show you the full demo of the entire solution, but I will give you a quick little preview, and then, of course, if you're interested, you want to know more, then we can always schedule a full demo later on. So about us, Quadira was founded in 1999 by our current CEO and owner, Hayo Kantas. Started by selling a different document output management solution, but along the way he thought, well, I think we can do this better. So that's what he did, and over 14 years ago, Advanced Forms was born. The way Advanced Forms is built is by request of our customers and partners. So we don't do custom versions. We have one solution. If there is a feature missing, an improvement missing, the customer or partner can request it with us, and then we build it in, and everybody will get the same version. Our philosophy is also do it yourself. This is always a bit of a mixed message because we at least want to give you the possibility to do it yourself. It's a very user-friendly solution, no coding, no difficult scripts, all based on the drag and drop principle. The workflow builder and the designer are both drag and drop, so you can use the entire solution by just using your mouse. So no hardcore programming involved at all. Of course,
Rick,
we have our own consultancy team, so we can, of course, do the implementation for you as well.
What I wanted to add,
Yes.
as the users are, I think, advanced already in JD Edwards orchestrations, and they like to do themselves new and enhance new functions, new possibilities to innovate and make the product work more efficient. I'm sure that this is the same workaround with your solution.
Yes, definitely. So the maintenance of your forms can also be done by yourself, so you don't need to call your partner or log a ticket or anything like that. So we have our own consultancy team, our own support team. We have our own developers because the solution is ours. Everybody is in-house, so we have our own development team that works on the solution on a daily basis. And of course, we have all the other, the sales, etc. But the most important part are, of course, our consultant and our support department. We have over 600 customers and over 1,000 trained professionals. Those trained professionals, we train them at the Q Academy, as we call it. So you get a 2-day training, and it can be in separate blocks of 4 hours, for example. And that will teach you the solution, how to build your reports in a logical way, how to build your workflow, how to use the modules. etc. And then you are a professional advanced forms user, as we like to say. And it's a worldwide solution. We're in a lot of different countries. We always say if there's data, we can work with it. So yeah, I'm going to the next one. Here's just a quick overview of our customers. Yeah, a lot of different customers in different countries, different areas, different fields.
And
We're
even
not
some of
specific
these
on a certain
customers,
type of company.
some of these customers are Quistor customers, Broadpin, sorry.
Yes.
It's also nice to see that new customers are enhancing the solution. Of course, I cannot share yet the names, but what I would like to say to everyone present is this call that implementations are running smoothly and they have a great relationship with Quadira team, and they evolve so much faster than they thought at the very beginning. So that's why we trust this is one of the best solutions to look at for document management.
Well, thank you for that. We do also think so. We would like to divide advanced forms JDE in 3 stages. So we have the connect stage where we build a bridge between JDE and advanced forms. Advanced forms is a server application that can be hosted on a simple Azure VM, a Windows server. And there's 2 ways we can retrieve the data: as a tag PDF, so you can send it to a printer queue, and then we'll read the printer queue. And if there's a new print in the queue, we take that tag PDF and we create an XML file from it. Or you can send an XML file using a web service, for example, place it in a folder. That's all possible. Why do we create an XML? The entire solution is data-driven. So with all the data we retrieve from JDE, we can make decisions, set conditions during the workflow, but also in your report itself. So for example, you have a SharePoint where all your certificates are located, and when a certain product is used on the invoice, a certain certificate needs to be attached to it when it's being sent to the customer. So what we can do is, when product A is present in the XML, go to SharePoint, locate certificate A for product A, add it to the flow, create one PDF, create a zip file. So based on all those actions, we can create smart choices. So it also means that you can easily make exceptions for customers without creating a whole new flow. It's just saying, if this customer is present, then maybe don't attach the general terms and conditions, because they have an OCR system and they read the PDF file and general terms makes it crash, for example, and so on. And of course, you have the create phase where you create your documents, your workflow. We can set validations, so you have to approve or reject a document based on a certain value. All those things are out of the box possible in advanced forms. And the share, you can create beautiful documents, but if they don't end up where they need to be, then it's a shame. So you can either mail, we can place them in a draft folder of the end user, place them on SharePoint, print, you name it, we can do it. So what advanced forms? It's a very smart but easy to use designer. So no coding, like I said, all based on drag and drop. You can do a live preview while designing, so you don't need to save it, upload it, print it to test it. You can design really quick. And it's also very smart. I will show a little bit more of the designer in the demo in a second. What you see is what you get. Everything is done on a visual way. The flow you will see in a minute is all visual modules, no weird names, just a little circle with the module name, so you can see exactly, well, this is where my report arrives, and this is when it goes out, and what happens in between with my data. So everything is on a visual basis. Once again, do it yourself, but you don't have to. We have our own consultants, but you at least have the possibility to do it yourself. Simply flexible, yeah, because you can do it yourself, or you can let us do it, or we can do it together. We call ourselves Simply Flexible. So we just give you the options, and you let us know what you prefer, and we'll get it done. So on to the next one. This is our solution, Advanced Forms. It's an on-premise solution, and it can be installed on a simple VM in Azure, so you can have it semi-cloud. You don't need an actual computer on your location. That's also possible, of course. The first time you will start the studio, this will be an empty canvas. And we have all these modules which can be used to build an entire workflow with everything you need from the moment you print in JDE until the moment it gets delivered to where it needs to be. So it can either be a recipient outside the company, it can be an internal document, it can be printed in a warehouse. That's all possible. Just to give you a quick feel of how easy it is to build this workflow is I will add a printer out today, because we can send an email, we can place it in a folder, or we can send it to an archive. In this case, we also want to use the printer out module. I just select it, drag it on the canvas, connect it, look for all the available printers that I have on my server, select the one I want to use, and it's added. Then I can choose what do I want to print. We can either print a PDF file, but we can also do native ZBL. So we can do Zebra printers, high volume label printing. Those are all options out of the box with our solution. In this case, I will do a PDF file. I will select the invoice. Okay. And now I can start to print. So it's that easy to build your workflow without any coding, no difficulty, everything based on a drag and drop principle. And what you see is what you get workflow. I'm going to remove this one for another demo. So what happens in this flow here? This is quite a simple flow. We have a couple of modules, but it does the trick. We can retrieve data in multiple ways. In this case, we just say we want a folder. Advanced Forms will watch that folder, and it will pick up any document that is printed or placed into that folder. But we could also use a printer queue, for example. If you print something from JDE to a printer queue, Advanced Forms will watch that printer queue and, for example, take the tag PDF or the XML file, and then the process will start. We will always create an XML from the data that is retrieved. So if you would send a tag PDF, we have here the JDE connector. We take that tag PDF and we create an XML file. Why is that? Because the entire solution and a designer is data-driven. So we can make decisions, set conditions based on all the information we get from JDE. So you don't have to have all these different processes. You can say when it's customer A, situation A needs to happen. When the customer B, situation B needs to happen. So those are all out of the box options. Once we've created an XML file from the tag PDF, in this case, we will add labels. This is just a way to improve your translation. So if not all the translations are correct in JDE or maybe not complete, you can add them very easily here. And we'll look at the language ID. I can show you the model. We have the language ID. We have all the different languages, and we set a condition. The language ID needs to contain a G from German. Advanced Forms will know then which translations to add to the XML, which then can be used in the process and the designer tool. Before I move on to the designer, I want to show you the difference between the tag PDF we retrieve and the PDF that is created by Advanced Forms. Here we see the tag PDF from JDE. And now I will start the process manually. Like I said, this can also be an action to a printer in JDE, for example, or to the folder itself. But I will just simulate like we printed something. Advanced Forms is looking at the folder. It sees that something appears, and it will automatically start a process to process this report. If I then go to my email, you see that I have received an email. We can create email templates based on variable data, but also on hard text, images, links, QR codes, etc. Well, we see the document that is created by Advanced Forms, and you can immediately see the difference. It's good to know this is just an example document we created. Your document doesn't have to look anything like this. How can you do that? I will show you our designer tool. If we open the Advanced Forms designer, here we see the background or the template of the document we just received in our email. It's also basically the same as a workflow. I can just select the data from the XML and say, well, I want to use the ship to address line 1. Let's see what happens if I place it on there. I can do a live preview, so no saving, uploading, etc. All that difficult steps. I see that it's not displayed correctly. Then I have a lot of other options to add to the field. I can say can grow. This means that it will grow to the bottom. This is something you will normally use for your product lines, for example. Can shrink means that it will fold any white spaces together, so there's no space in between the lines, or if a line is empty, it won't create a white space, it will just fold everything neatly together. In this case, I will say auto width, and now I see that the entire address is displayed correctly. Just a simple example of how easy it is to work and to manipulate those fields and place them on there. No coding, just drag and drop visual, see what you're doing live while designing. It just saves you a lot of time, and you can do it yourself. That's the great thing as well. With a small training, you will learn this designer and you can build your own documents, maintain your own documents. So you don't no longer need to rely on a partner who knows coding, etc. On the left here, we see bands. The entire report is built in bands. Why is that? Then we can manipulate whether something only needs to be shown on the first page, the second page, the last page. So these are just fields where data is placed within your report, and you can manipulate this entire section to do whatever you like. The orange part are our repeatable lines, so the product lines. And I can also easily sort on those product lines, filter on those product lines. I can group it. So if you have multiple items from a certain type, you can say, I want all items of the type chair, for example, to be together. Then I want everything for type table. So that makes it very easy to neatly sort your report, even if the data is scrambled within JDE. We have word-likes options here for our text manipulation. You can do exotic fonts as well, HTML, you name it, and you can do it. On the left, we have multiple options. I will just highlight some images. This can be base 64 or just a hard image somewhere located on the server. Any type of shape, matrices, HTML, any type of barcode. No difficulty. I need a QR code. I just place it on there and I connect a field which should create the QR code. We can do formatting, of course, on date time, on decimals. We can do how many commas there need to be, what the separate icons are. So all these options are within your reach, within this designer, without any coding. Everything can be set with your mouse, and I haven't touched my keyboard once since I'll be giving the demo. Something we also can do is IFF statements. This means that we can say, if this, then do that, or else do this. So if it's customer A, then we need this VAT number displayed. If it's customer B, this VAT number, because they're in different countries. So it's a different company that sends the invoice. You don't need to create two different templates with all these kind of exceptions. You can all build it in one or two templates. So we know of other products that rely on all these different templates because there are small differences within each form. That's not the case with advanced forms. We can really reduce that number of templates to a small number, which makes it a lot easier and cheaper to maintain. So that's a big plus of our product. There's a lot more I could tell you about the designer, but these are the most important and interesting features. Basically, any documents you can think of, we can create with this designer. Moving on. We can also have different output types. So PDF, Word, Excel. We can even create an email as HTML. So your invoice is not a PDF, but your email body is the invoice, for example. Those are all possibilities out of the box with our solution. Then, of course, we want to send an email. So we just saw that we created an email template. If I open this feature, we have our email template designer. And here we see the email we just created and received in our Outlook. You can do hard text for the recipient, but this can, of course, also be an XML note or any data that we retrieve from JDE itself. We have a lot of modules, but I will just highlight some of the most interesting ones. These are all different output types. We can even say we don't want to send the email right away. We just want to place it into a draft folder of the end user so they can make last minute changes, add attachments, you name it, and we'll place it there and they can send it themselves. Or we can, of course, directly mail it from advanced forms. Email, printout, FTP, PEPL, very big in Europe these days, to connect to the PEPL network with your PEPL broker. Some of the engine tools, we can create zip files. File insert is a very interesting one. We can also insert files from different locations. So we don't need all the data and attachments to be in JDE itself. We can connect to multiple data sources like SharePoint, do an API call to any product, do a query to an ODBC database. So we can use all these different methods to retrieve all the data from those different systems to create the end result you need or want. So that makes it very easy. Just think of IKEA, for example. You order a table, you get the invoice of the table, but you also need the manual to build the table. We can say, well, if table A is present in the data, go to SharePoint, download the manual for table A, and add it to the process, and you will get sent the invoice with the table manual. So that makes it very easy, no extra steps. You take out a lot of manual actions with advanced forms. We can even create one PDF from them, just combine them. We can do scripting, like I said, API calls, the database reader. We can convert the XML. So if data isn't in the right order for a UBL, for example, or XRechnung, we can create a new XML structure to create the perfect XML to be sent to the Peppol network, for example. We can create payment links, QR codes, ideal, so your customers can pay you very easy. Different input types. We can even read out an email inbox, for example. Like I said, a printer queue. It can be sent to a web service, you name it. And we can retrieve the data in many different ways. And we also have a SharePoint connection to upload and download files from SharePoint if need be. So you can also use the SharePoint as an archive attached to advanced forms. But I see we have a question, I think. So advanced forms are similar to other solutions like create forms, but far more user-friendly, drag and drop. So this will only map the data that's printed. Yeah. We take the data that is printed on the report, and with that tag PDF, we create a XML file. But we can do, like I said, a query to a database and retrieve more data and add it to the process or do an API call. So we can expand the data beyond JDE or with JDE. But the base we take is the tag PDF or the XML, but we can definitely enrich that from different sources.
One question from me, Rick. How would you see how complex it would be to choose advanced forms for specific, let's say, an e-invoicing solution for, let's say, French mandate? How much time would you think it would take to implement such solution?
If we do it, so our consultants do it, most of the time, 1 day, 1.5 days per report, depending on the report, but that's a little bit of an average, with the flow around that report as well. So if you have, let's say you have 3 documents, say 6 days, and then the flow is set up, the solution is installed, etc. So it can be done very quickly.
Okay, I understand. It seems a quick win. And another solution that I know, do you have version control?
Yes.
For advanced forms? Yeah. How does that work?
You can do it several different ways. The studio itself has version control, and you can set a comment with the version, but everything you do in advanced forms is exportable, importable. So if you have a test environment as well, you can just export the project, import it, save the project as, but we also have an entire version control in the studio. So you can go back certain versions, and if you make a change, you can add a comment, well, I made this change on the 1st of January, and I added this form. So if something goes wrong, you can easily go back, or you can easily switch between test environments, production environments. Yeah.
Okay. Everyone's speaking about AI these days. Are you thinking, or is it your solution already looking at enabling feature functions, AI controlled?
Not yet, no. Because building the documents, a lot of customers, they have very specific needs, and if you're going to do it by AI, and then you have to rebuild the AI form to make it perfect. That takes more work than just doing it yourself. We tried doing some basic reports to give them to customers and edit them based on the customer needs, but it's a lot easier than to just say this what we want, we'll start from scratch. Because the designer is so easy and you can build so quick and do live previewing, there's no benefit yet to using AI to do those kind of things.
Yeah. Okay. I know we have experienced some technical issues from both Broadpin side as well as yours. But what I do suggest is everyone who joined this call to receive a short demo end-to-end of the solution capability. So a link to a video that they could watch. And yeah, thank you very much for your insights. We're hoping to look into this solution in more detail with our customers, our prospects, and to let you know, guys, next edition will be in January on a Monday. We will be discussing about orchestrations and new capabilities on Orchestration Studio that are available from release 26. So it will be a live demo with our colleague Mario, who is an expert and nowadays an ace in JDE Edwards orchestrations. So have a great afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Rick, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Apologies for the technical difficulties. But yeah, my details on the screen. So if you want to talk, have a demo, have questions, feel free to contact me, and I'll be happy to show you some more and explain everything you need to know. And also
Great.
thank you to Broadpin for allowing us to host this webinar together with you guys. So thank you.
Great stuff. Have a great afternoon.
Okay,
Bye.
bye everyone.